let's actually transition a little bit. Mayfield, my thing with him, you're talking about the 2 tight ends. You're talking about more of a run game. I think a lot of the systems that he played in before was quite the opposite. It was drop back and sling it, or just use your. I think as much like you need to take pressure off of that arm, and if they can do that, I just think that with Mayfield, the coaches around him haven't been the greatest. I mean, we thought that Judge was okay, but he wasn't that good. And then the Browns coach, I can't remember who was it. Who was the Browns coach?
I'm trying to think who was before Kevin Stefanski, because he's
the
coach
Stefanski.
now.
What was it? I want to say it was. Oh my gosh, I know his name. It's on the.
When they were on Hard Knocks too, right?
Yeah, it was the bald dude. I think
bald guy.
I can't remember. Was it Gus Johnson? No, is that his name?
Gus Johnson's the announcer.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Great announcer though.
Yeah. I can't remember. Hold on.
Yeah, neither can I.
Anyways, my point is, none of the organizations that he's played for has had established good coaches. I don't know. We'll get into more of Todd Bowles later, but you're talking about this new system and how there's going to be a lot. I mean, the defense, if it can stay healthy, there's going to be a lot more flexibility in the system, and it's gonna kind of take pressure off of him. So I think that he's going to be a little bit better with the weapons around him than he has been in previous seasons. It's just he needs to be better because this is ultimately his last shot. I thought last year was his last shot, but this is ultimately his last shot at a starting job. So does he shine now that he has stable weapons with the Buccaneers?
I think he's going to be much better than people expect Baker Mayfield to be. And I get all of the criticism against him. And, he should shoulder some of the blame, especially his last couple of seasons or his last season with the Cleveland Browns. But I think we also have to factor in, Baker didn't have a choice when he got traded to Carolina. The Browns just decided they're going to move on from him. So he went to Carolina. The Browns were like, yeah, well, we'll trade you to there. And that system was never the right system for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he also played his last year with the Browns. He played with a torn rotator cuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's gutsy. He could have easily just been like, I'm going to sit out the rest of the season. But he played with a torn rotator cuff. And then, gets traded to Carolina. That didn't work out. He goes to the Rams. He has that infamous game, 2 days with the team. And then he goes
to the Raiders
and beats the Raiders. But that offense that he played with the Rams is very similar to what Tampa Bay is going to be implementing this year with their new offensive coordinator, because Dave Canales, one of the offensive coordinators that he worked for in Seattle, previously worked for the Rams. So the Niners offense, the Rams offense, kind of like what you see in Miami as well. The Bucs is not going to look exactly like that, but there's going to be certain elements to it. And Baker now, he's playing in a very quarterback-friendly offense. There's going to be a lot of motion, a lot of play action, QB waggles, and quarterback rollouts. Baker is good at throwing on the run. So they're really going to play to his strong suit. The last thing I'll say about Dave Canales, he worked with Geno Smith last year. Geno Smith's career was over. It was done. And then it got revived. He made the Pro Bowl with the Seahawks, completely turned around his career. He's going to try to do that again with Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker had some talent when he was with the Browns, actually not Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's there now, but he had Odell, but, clearly not the same talent. Yeah, go ahead. Your show.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to tell you the coaches. It was Hugh Jackson, not Gus Johnson. It was Freddie. It was Freddie Kitchens, and then before that, Hugh Jackson.
Yeah,
those are two.
That's
Freddie
right.
Kitchens, awful. So go ahead.
It's coming back to me now because Hard Knocks.
The 2019 year was Freddie Kitchens,
right?
When they
Hugh
failed
Jackson
miserably.
Was the Hard Knocks year, and the coach was like, "Yeah, I think we should do this," and everyone agreed. And then Hugh Jackson was like, "No, we're gonna do that instead." And I'm the head coach, so it's my call. But I mean, when you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and a very talented running back and Rachaad White, I mean, they're going to help out Baker Mayfield, and the fact that these guys are going to get open much, much easier because of the eye candy, because of the confusion, because of all the motion and things like that. This very much is Baker Mayfield's last opportunity to be a starter, because if not, I think he's going to be a perennial backup across the league. He could stay in the league for another 10 years if he wanted to, but it would be as a backup quarterback. Put it this way. The over under on the amount of wins that the Bucs are going to have this year is 6.5. I would very much take the over on that. I would very much take the over. I don't think Baker's going to win MVP or anything like that, but he's able to run a sustainable offense. He's just got to worry about the turnovers. That's always been the big knock on Baker Mayfield is the turnovers. But if you're in a quarterback-friendly offense, and you know that's the emphasis, and you go into a situation where, there is a quarterback competition, so you can't just sling it all over the place willy-nilly and have it get intercepted, because if you do, they will turn to Kyle Trask, and Todd Bowles won't be afraid to do that. But I do think it's Baker's job to lose, and with that talent, I think he's going to be successful.
Do you put in any stock into kind of the schedule that you guys have this year? Because I know it's tough. I mean, you guys have the Vikings week 1. That's not terrible. The Bears, Eagles, Saints, Lions, but like you have the Bills on there, you have the Titans on there, who knows, 49ers on there. You have let's see, obviously the Jaguars on there. That's tough.
Yeah, so I actually, the reason why I think they're going to go over 6.5 wins.
Hold on to interrupt. Yeah. Not every, because I was talking to a Saints guy a few weeks ago, and not every analyst or guy, like a guy that covers their teams, not every guy like relies on the schedule to tell them how many wins. They don't base it off of the schedule, because not everybody, because it could change so much during the season. So go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, absolutely. I completely hear what you're saying. I would argue, there are tough teams on there. Monday night against the Eagles, Thursday night on the road against the Bills. No question, those are really tough teams. The Eagles are just in the Super Bowl when they lost to the Chiefs, and the Bills are a perennial Super Bowl contender. But the reason I would say the Bucs are going to go over 6.5 wins, I mean, first of all, their own division stinks. Like, who's the best team in the NFC South? I think that's up for debate. Some people might say the Saints. Maybe. Yeah, but I mean, Desmond Ridder is their starting quarterback. Yeah. I don't know. That's I'm not too high on that.
Their fans are optimistic. I've talked to Falcons content creators. They're optimistic. Yeah. The weapons are there, but the quarterback.
Right. And the Saints, they probably have the best quarterback in the division. I know Carolina is drafted first overall, but I think with rookies, you got to wait a little bit before you anoint them the best quarterback in a division.
Well, and every rookie, even Trevor Lawrence, who's now just starting to come into his own.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a little bit of time. So just for this season specifically, like the Saints lost a lot of players on defense. So they're kind of revamped there. And then the Bucs also play the AFC South. So you're talking about the Colts rookie quarterback. The Titans, they don't even, I know they got DeAndre Hopkins, but they don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. Yes, the Jaguars are good, but the Texans, that's not too difficult either.
Yeah.
And then the other division they play this year is the NFC North. The Vikings, some people say the Vikings are frauds, and the fact that they were like 8-0 in games decided by 7 points or less, that's not going to happen again this year. The Packers,
their defense is terrible. Yeah.
The Packers, you cannot tell me that they're better with Jordan Love than they would be with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The Bears, everyone's all over the place with them. Not a ton of people believe in Justin Fields. And then, the Lions are the team that everyone loves now, and everyone thinks the Lions are going to be great. But what if they regress?
I've been saying with the Browns, well, the Lions remind me, the hype at least reminds me so much of what the Browns were in 2019.
When they traded for Odell? Yeah, dude, 100% agreed. Everyone thinks the Lions are like the next big thing. And, maybe they will be. But I'm just saying, all those other teams that I named in the divisions, those are very winnable games for the Bucs. And they have to do their job too, obviously. Baker has to play to a pretty high level, and that defense needs to remain intact. But I'm just saying, there is a window of opportunity for the Bucs to make the postseason again, or at least battle to win the division. Like, I don't think they're going to be great. I don't think they're going to win 10 games, but I could see them going 9-8 and winning the NFC South and hosting a home playoff game.
Very possible. Very possible. Also, the NFC is terrible. So
yeah, it really is. The AFC is a monster across the board. The NFC, you got like 2 teams. You got the Eagles, Cowboys, and 49ers. You got 3 teams that are like pretty good.
But even the 49ers, it's like injuries, quarterback.
The quarterback situation is really just what it comes down to.
Yeah. And my fear with the 49ers real quick is
Yeah.
like my fear with them is if they start off slow again this season, their schedule is so hard. Can they even rebound like they did last season? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bucs play the 49ers this year.
They do. They do. That no offense, but that game against you guys last year was
Demolishing.
absolutely glorious. I love that.
Demolishing. Like not even remotely close. That
Yeah.
was an absolute whooping.
That's the game where kind of Brandon Ayuk to me kind of asserted himself as like if he's on another team with a consistent quarterback, that guy's going to be
Mhm.
over in 1,000 yards because he was going crazy in that game.